Well, I hit that intro wrong. We just started out the front with the intro music. But welcome in Fantasy Football Universe. I'm SC Romero here alongside Jesse Moeller and Jeremy Solman. We are the FFU without our man Aaron St. Dennis. Here to bring some roundtable discussion, just some things that we've been talking about behind the scenes, bringing it to light for everybody. Jesse, Jeremy, how's it going, fellas?
Yeah, it's going good. I'm enjoying my Saturday. Got my daughter with me. Nice chill Saturday. Talk some college football. So I saw your show earlier today. Do that, and then just ride through. So I'm looking forward to tomorrow for the early morning, like 6 a.m. start. How about you, Jeremy?
Yep. Yeah, pretty good. Just got back from a 3-on-3 basketball / breakdancing tournament, which was awesome. Totally different than what the hell we're talking about today and our experiences tomorrow. But yeah, excited for the early London game. Early around these parts means 3:30 in the afternoon. So getting started a little bit early. Love it.
Jamie, we appreciate you. Don't forget to subscribe to the FFU University. You know when we're going live every day of the week. We have a live. So, Jamie, did I hear you correctly though? You said you were breakdancing before this show?
Yeah, you know how I get down. And I get down by breakdancing. So
there you go.
No, that would be painful for me and for everybody watching. So I'm not gonna be doing that.
That's the perfect segue for you to be the lone breakdancing fantasy football analyst. Like that's the niche right there. We just go through it.
The breakdown.
Just call me Ray Gun, baby. Call me Ray Gun.
The breakdown, and you're giving us advice when you're breakdancing. Classic.
Oh, that'd be incredible. So it's like underdog cardio.
It would be.
On cardboard.
Impossible over here.
Cardboard with the jukebox there with the music blasted. There you go.
I love it.
But man, fantasy football, you mentioned we have a big matchup. I know like I said, daily having things go. Y'all have our, the game day previews with the AFC, NFC. Y'all already broke down the morning game with Jacksonville at Chicago. Interesting characters in both of those, and is anyone right there one of your targets to try to trade for at this moment in that offense, in any of those offenses right now?
Well, I mean, if you're going to give me the segue to talk about Brian Thomas Jr., then absolutely. But I think the other guy and the much, much cheaper option is actually Tank Bigsby. Because people are still holding on that cachet with ETN, but like I was reading stats where he was like third on man runs and he was like top 10. And so like he's been really good rusher this year. And he's just been far better than ETN where he's the explosive rusher, which you thought ETN was, but he's not. So I wonder if ETN's even going to get that full rollback and if it's more going to be Bigsby being the lead back. So I would say if you want a cheap buy, like there's no cheaper buy than Tank Bigsby at that running back because he's like RB 40 something in Dynasty. And I mean, we could talk about Brian Thomas Jr. all day, but like I'm just gonna say, just go pay for Brian Thomas Jr. He's incredible.
For sure. Jeremy, I asked
Tank Bigsby. Oh, sorry.
Oh no, my bad. I was just gonna say because I asked Jesse prior to the show. I had someone offer me. I had Brian Thomas. They offered me Zach Moss and Garrett Wilson. Do you take that?
Yeah, I do. I really do. I mean, Brian Thomas, I know how much you guys love Brian Thomas. I was late to the Brian Thomas show, too late to get in on any shares. That said, Garrett Wilson is the ultimate buy low. He's got 3. He blew up last week. He's got 3 terrible matchups, and then he's got the cakiest of cake schedules in the second half. If Aaron Rodgers can be 40% of Aaron Rodgers, I don't care if Devontae Adams is there or not. They are going to get it together in the second half, at least for fantasy football.
Fair enough. And that's a good dynasty one for you as well. Now,
yeah, absolutely.
Now Zach Moss is hot, but you were also talking about Tank Bigsby. I mean, talk about those two.
Tank Bigsby. Well, really quick on Tank Bigsby. To Jesse's point, is I've been trying to sell Tank Bigsby. I have a lot of Tank Bigsby because I was stuck with the bag this offseason. Bought into him like in the 3rd or 4th round whenever he was going a couple years ago. I had like double-digit shares of Tank Bigsby. Thankfully, that's paying off, except there are teams where I'm trying to unload him. People do not believe that Tank Bigsby is the lead back. The numbers bear out that Tank Bigsby is the lead back or the 1A for sure. ETN is still involved in the passing game. It's just not working for Jacksonville in the passing game for whatever reason. And Tank is running like a man possessed. So I don't know what else people need to see. They're not going to see it really against Chicago and New England, maybe Green Bay. But it is also a tough schedule. I've been trying to sell Tank Bigsby this week. It hasn't happened.
Yeah, what's interesting is I kind of want to share something that is a chart that shows how good Tank Bigsby has been. If we could put it up on the screen here somewhere, I might just have to go full screen with it. But let me see. So this chart right here, to highlight your point, is how good running backs are. Missed tackles or broken tackle rate. Takes Biggie's basically pushing 50%. Yards after contact, he's at like 7 yards after contact. Like the guy's breaking the chart. This was what I put out a tweet the other day where it was where I said him and Devon Achane have swapped bodies because Devon Achane was doing this last year. Devon Achane has become one of the worst rushers in the NFL this year for whatever reason. It's not working. And Tanks Bigsby's coming off the historically bad rookie season, and now he's like one of the best running backs in the NFL. So, yeah, like if you can get Tanks Bigsby for on the cheap, like I think he's a good buy because the whole ETN people are still holding that against him. So I'm with you.
So, both of y'all's points, though. I mean, this may be an opportunity to sell high on him when you can, right? Because there is still, we know Travis Etienne has had a shoulder injury. Apparently, he's cleared to play this week. Is that going to be something that hurts him? But I mean, speaking of people, you got to take advantage sometimes when the market is higher on guys. Because sometimes with the guy that was a backup role, if Etienne comes out here and just eats, it automatically kills his value. It doesn't matter what he did the past few weeks, right? So you have to sell and hope if he has a bad week that he bounces back and has a good week again. But speaking on that, some guys that, we talk about sell highs and opportunities. One of this guy last year was a big one, and we have Chaka. Shout out Chaka. I love your name here. But he's asking us, would you trade Kamara, Higgins, and Kelsey for Kyron, Lamb, and Ingram in the PPR redraft?
Yes. PPR. Yeah, like Kamara and Lamb are like kind of similar for me. Kyron is a stud in redraft. So like upgrading from Higgins to Kyron is massive. And then I don't mind that just like Ingram's finally healthy. I know Kelsey's the best tight end right now, but I don't mind that. You're getting a significant upgrade going to Kyron as opposed to like that. So yeah, that's fine with me.
What about you, Jesse? You checking that?
Yeah, I'll definitely take it as well. Lamb over Higgins is a massive value. So if you just go by position, Kyron over Kamara, that's been working so far. You just hope he stays healthy. So far, it's working. Even when those guys come back, you expect kind of a lesser role for Kyron. But in the first 2 weeks, he was RB22 and RB21. He's still a solid RB2, almost what Kamara is giving you in a bad offense with Derek Carr. And then Ingram for Kelsey, fine. Sure, I like Ingram.
And then I think here, because Kyron and Kamara, I think, are very similar as far as what they can do in producing you. We know Kamara is involved in the passing game a little bit more than Kyron, but Kyron is a smart back, and he's with arguably one of the best running systems in the league, right, with LA. You have Kelsey and Ingram. Kelsey's been slacking, but right now he may get an uptick in targets. But Ingram, we know they involve their tight ends as well. If you have Ingram, I would see if Brent Strange is available, because if Ingram's out, just go plug in Strange. He's filling the same exact role as him. So the difference here is Higgins and Lamb, and I think it's Lamb by landslide. So I think that's where you buy in. It's like, okay, I'm getting Lamb. I'll go ahead and take that in there. So,
yeah, and I will say, like, the offensive line for the Saints has gotten demonstrably worse. The Rams have already been dealing with that, and Kyron's been incredibly successful. So I think the rest of the season is going to be a little bit lower for Alvin Kamara. Like, it's just the offense has really struggled. Now you have a rookie quarterback in Spencer Rattler. Like, I get it, but it's just going to be hard for them to score points. So if you have Stafford as your quarterback, you want to have Rattler, like, I'm just going to shift to the guy that has Kyron. So yeah.
For sure. And then, week in and week out, and bye weeks are happening, injuries happen. We always have big things being, just we have to plug in guys that we just have available. Freddie Davis is out here asking us how we feel in Roschon Johnson or Braylon Allen. I mean, that's a tough one, Bobby. We're in situations where that may be happening. We saw Roschon do some good things, but now DeAndre Swift is the guy there, it seems like, right?
Yes.
Yeah, Braylon Allen is almost in a similar role as Bigsby. Like, is it long before he just takes over? I mean, Brees Hall's the guy, but the way they're running it, I don't know. That's a tough question there. What do y'all think?
Who do you have higher in rankings this week, Jeremy? I'm curious.
Yeah, this is really the question and what I'm trying to figure out. Roschon feels too low. He's at 34. Braylon Allen, I have all the way up at 24. That feels massively high. I might need to, I have Tyrone Tracy below him. That is incorrect now. I got to move him way up with Singletary likely to miss. We'll talk about that in a minute based on these questions. But yeah, Roschon, you saw him fall into the end zone last week. I think it was twice. He's got another great matchups, but both of these guys have insane matchups. I'm going to go with Braylon Allen. He's just the guy who's looked better. He can do it unlimited touches. Roschon is the goal line guy. He could fall into the end zone 2 more times here, but I'm just going to bet on more volume from Braylon Allen. How about you, Jesse?
Yeah, I don't see either of these guys taking the job. I will say if one guy does get the job due to an injury, I significantly prefer Braylon Allen. We see how the Jets use their running backs.
Great.
as much as I like Roschon, he's not the best rusher. And I think what would actually happen is they would bring Khalil Herbert in to take some of the rushing work alongside him if DeAndre Swift is out for the year. So I think the much more likely scenario if injury happens to both of these guys is that Braylon Allen gets all of the work. Roschon Johnson's still in the committee. So I'm going to pivot to like the high upside guy. So I would prefer Braylon Allen.
Agree.
For sure. I actually have them ranked back to back here. I have Braylon Allen at 30 and Roschon at 31. So I think the way they're using Allen, we have a lot more. If if Swift goes down, I'm all over Roschon, right? But even with Brees, I mean, the Jets have different running backs that they can use, but right now I think Braylon Allen, just how they use him, there's more upcharge of significance for him in that offense. DeAndre Swift looks great right now, so
yeah.
Something for him. So do you think Mixon will start? Mega Bruce asking. Yeah,
he's expected to play. So I'm trading as he's starting. And I am so excited because, man, it's been a struggle without Mixon on that offense.
Yeah, you plug him in. I mean, go ahead, Jeremy.
I was just going to say it was about 30 minutes ago it came out. He's expecting to play. So, yeah, you play him.
Appreciate you, Freddie. Sure. This guy, CUQ. Hey, guys, heard JT is out again. Bucky Irvin or Sherman? Also, any news on Mixon? We just heard Mixon starting. Bucky Irvin or Trey Sherman?
This also depends on his backfield mate, Rachaad White. Like, he's doubtful for the game. I don't know if he's going to play or not. If both of the other guys are out, so if we have Sherman taking the load in Indianapolis, Bucky Irvin taking the load in Tampa Bay, I'm going to prefer Bucky. He's been he's been a really, really good back. Sherman is still the inefficient, like he's depending on volume. I think Bucky survives without volume. Sherman desperately needs a volume and touchdowns to be a good fantasy back for you. Like, it's really not in the cards for him. He's just # not that good of a running back. So when I'm deciding between two guys, if they have multiple outs, that's why I'm going to go to Bucky. So I'll have Bucky higher in my rankings this week. I'm not sure where I have him, but I'm going to stall for a second when I look.
What do you think, Jeremy?
Yeah, these two teams are back-to-back in terms of fantasy points allowed to the running back, and they're both pretty stout in that regard. The thing is, you cannot throw on the Tennessee Titans. You haven't been able to all year. I do not think that that's really going to be a situation for Anthony Richardson, right? If he does start in this game to throw all over Tennessee, they're not going to look to do that anyway. This may be a reason why A-Rich is starting over Joe Flacco this week because of their opponent. So with that said, Trey Sermon, I think, is just too risky. He's going to be necessary. A-Rich will open things up, but he's just too risky for me. I'm going to go Bucky, especially if Rachaad White is out.
Yeah, that's fair. It is. I feel like it is a tougher matchup, right? Bucky versus the Saints there, so that may be something to consider. But also the Saints have a pretty good secondary, so they may have to try to use their running backs or pass it close. So that's where Bucky can shine too, and it's close to the chest there for him.
And one more thing to consider too is that the Saints are without Derek Carr. We know this, but that means that their offensive production will be down. So Tampa Bay will either be in this game, it'll be a neutral script, or Tampa will be well out ahead potentially. In either case, especially with White out, Bucky's going to get all the work he can handle.
Yeah.
Shout out Jamie, one of our avid listeners. We see him all the time, man. But he said he has Braylon Allen about 10 spots ahead of Roschon.
Yes, sir.
He's just one guy for sure, man.
The Buffalo Bills, I'll keep saying this. They're the ideal matchup for running backs. They just get gashed every which way through the air, on the ground. It doesn't matter. They just bleed fantasy points. So yeah, I'm with you. I have Braylon definitely in that like low RB2. I think he's like 24, 25. Roschon, like he can get a touchdown, so he's like RB 35 for me. But I'm with Jamie. They're definitely a ways apart.
See, you had another question. Before we get to that, we were just really talking about that, first game of the week and the guy that we're trying to buy. But in general, I mean, we're getting into a situation where we're, almost halfway through the fantasy football season, where we're starting to realize, all right, maybe we're contending, maybe we're not. But right now, I mean, if you're maybe on the fence, maybe you're not like sold on contending, but you have opportunity, who are we buying right now to help make that push for us?
Well, if you want to go buy some contenders, there's a guy, I know it's ugly, and he's dealing with a quarterback situation in Tennessee. It's Calvin Ridley. He's about to go off this week because he gets the Colts defense, and they suck against outside corner, like against outside wide receivers. They got gashed for Brian Thomas Jr. They've just been bleeding points. So if you want a guy that really dynasty people cannot stand because he's older and he struggled a little bit, his role is really good. His expected points per game is good. So I like Calvin Ridley as a really, really cheap buy because most people are like, he's 30. I don't want to touch him. So, yeah, I'll go get him for like a mid to late second and just call it a day with that. I think that's a really smart, cheap buy.
Look at Jesse getting back on the Calvin Ridley train. Love to
Old
see
man
it.
team, let's go.
That's it. Calvin Ridley, 2024.
Right.
Let's go.
Jerry, what about you? Anyone you're trying to buy here?
But yeah, before there's a guy I'm definitely trying to buy, and I actually bought him yesterday. But before I give that, I need to tell everyone to, if they like the content right now, go like and subscribe on our YouTube channel because we really appreciate that. I'll give you a second to do that. Okay. Hopefully you did it, because now if you did it, you're locked in, because I'm also going to recommend a Tennessee Titan. And against our better judgment, it's Tony Pollard. Tony Pollard has been absolutely kind of out of control as a fantasy, kind of out of nowhere, right? This was an ambiguous backfield for us. We were hoping for Tajay Spears. He's been the PPR, half PPR RB 11, then 23, then 49, then 15 against Miami last week. He has been really doing well against mediocre run defenses, but the schedule is money for Tony Pollard coming up. Jesse mentioned they're playing the Colts this week. They play Buffalo in week 7. Outside of a few weird matchups in the middle, week 14, Jacksonville. This is fantasy playoffs, baby. 15, Cincinnati, 16, Indy, and 17, Jacksonville. This is the friendliest matchup for your playoff push and run. And Tony Pollard is absolutely going to smash in those games if healthy. So I'm going out and buying him now on contenders, especially ones where I'm 5-0, 4-1, and where I can kind of afford to have a few down weeks when they play Detroit in week 8, New England in week 9, and the Chargers in week 10, Minnesota in week 11. So that stretch is bad. Otherwise, right now, starting in week 6 and then in the playoff push, Tony Pollard, Calvin Ridley, those Tennessee Titans are going to be money.
Love it, love it. Tony Pollard's a buy for me, man. And actually, I have someone that's trying to target him. I just told him, no, I'm not trying to get rid of Pollard, especially because he had the bye week. That's key right now. You know, he's plugged in for you, locked in, and he's beating out Tajay Spears right now. And with the way as much as Calvin Ridley, I agree with this matchup is a good buy. And then, moving forward, how they could use him, especially with Hopkins back, it could definitely open him up a lot more. But with the offense being with their quarterback situation, they're going to rely on Tony Pollard as well. So, I mean, go ahead and get him too. And he's cheaper because of his age, right? People still kind of hesitant on him. We gave you a wide receiver. We gave you a running back. I'm going to go a quarterback here, and I'm going to say Daniel Jones. I think people – there's a disgusting taste in the mouth when you think about Daniel Jones, right? You're like, it's Daniel Jones. It's not Danny Dimes. It's like Danny Damn, right? It's like, what are you doing here?
Danny tastes like dimes.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That nasty taste in your mouth, right? But like you talk about matchups, his matchups coming up. He has Cincinnati, he has Philly, Pittsburgh at Pittsburgh, okay, Washington at Carolina before the bye. His playoff ones, he starts in New Orleans, then Baltimore at Atlanta. All right. But we know they're playing it safe with Malik Neighbors. He has a concussion. He was doing okay. But I think smart teams are like, man, we're not gonna let this guy get hurt again. Let's wait for him to be fully healthy, go completely through concussion protocol, be good for about a week, then we'll put you back in. And last week he didn't have Neighbors and he balled out, right? Against Seattle. 2 touchdowns, no interceptions, over 250 yards. Look good. We were talking about this on the Debbie show today. If Daniel Jones gets the New York Giants to like pick 14, 15-ish, I don't know if they necessarily address the quarterback in the first round just because of what options could be there. Maybe you go get another wide receiver to be opposite of, Malik Neighbors. If you got like a Emeka Ibuka, that's nasty. Quinshon Judkins and Aston Gentry might be there. And you're telling me if those 2 top running backs are there that they don't necessarily plug that in as well. They have some good cornerbacks in the draft too. So I think this is Daniel Jones understands it's a make-break year for him, and he's been hurt to injury, so that's been hurting him. When he comes back, he's definitely hesitant. But I think they're in the offseason. They're like, bro, we believe in you. We got you this wide receiver. Don't let us down. And Malik Neighbors has been him, but we also saw last week, that he does need it. Don't get me wrong, it makes him better, but he can still get it done, and he's doing it. So I think he's a cheaper buy than what you can get for other quarterbacks in Superflex. So I think it's good potential to have top 15 weeks throughout the rest of the season. So
I'm with you. I like that. I also like the backfield made him Tyrone Tracy. I like Tyrone Tracy as a buy too as well. He's been really good. By the way, I'll just say this for one quick second. They play the Bengals and their defense is atrocious. They give up the worst success rate to rushers and they give up the second worst EPA per rush to rushers. And their bottom 4 in tackling PFF grade. Like it's a smash for Tyrone Tracy this week. So you have him. So
Tyrell Tracy is definitely a buy too. I think that's someone. Singletary's nice. We know Singletary gets the carries, but if Tyrell Tracy goes out there and balls again, he spots his until it's not right. So
like he gives them a totally different element in the backfield, like that explosiveness. Like they need it. They don't have that. So yeah, I'm with you. Like I think he could take him over.
Shout out JB, good pick. I think he's good. It might be too low. No, yeah, I mean he could top it, but that's not bad. I like that.
Yeah,
going back to our question from Shu, he said, also, what should I do with Nico Collins? My RBs are Pacheco, JT Mixon. My wide receivers are Jaden Reed, assuming Garrett Wilson there. Is that DJ Moore, I assume, too? Josh Downs.
DJ.
Right. And then I just wait it out. Also, I'm 3-2, if that matters.
I would trade him for a running back because I'm looking at your running back room. We don't know when Pacheco's coming back. JT is dealing with a high ankle sprain. Mixon's finally coming back. So, like, your running back room is pretty bereft at the moment. So, given that you have Jaden Reed, you have Garrett Wilson, that's fine. 1-2 punch. Those are really good guys. And then it sucks trading Nico because, like, he was basically the wide receiver 2 in fantasy football. But, like, I would go get yourself a high-impact running back. Go see if you can kick the doors down on a Breece Hall or one of those guys, right? Like, try to find a way to get a high-profile running back to kind of boost your running back room. I think it works out better with your roster construction, personally.
Yeah, and you need to move Pacheco as well. If you are planning on contending, you can wait it out to see how your team goes over the next couple of weeks. But before the deadline, if you're planning on contending, Pacheco needs to be out the door, and you need to move him for a viable asset to a team that's in the tank. Absolutely, go ahead and go get Darnell Mooney plus Stephon Diggs. You can absolutely get some of those guys easily, and a plus on top perhaps because Pacheco should come back and fill in his RB1 role at the beginning of next year.
So, I mean, we're in agreement he definitely needs running back. But is Nico the move, or could you afford trading Josh Downs and trying to get like a Tank Bigsby? Just to be something.
Yeah. If you can do that, I don't think Downs gets you Bigsby personally. Like if this is redraft, like I don't think it happens because Downs is like replaceable wide receiver, and replaceable wide receivers, as we know in redraft, are really, really hard to trade, right? Because there's so many of them as opposed to running backs. So if this is Dynasty, it's a different story. Yeah, like I think you have Bigsby, so you're good. But yeah, like I would find a way to kind of like mix those up because your wide receiver room has like it's redraft. Yeah, so like Pacheco's basically impossible to trade in redraft unless you have somebody.
Yeah, true.
But I would use Nico as a piece to kind of boost myself. If your tight end room sucks, go get him for Ferguson plus. Go get a high profile tight end. Like I would find ways to improve my team in other spots if I had Nico.
I think with Nico, you're trading for contenders that don't necessarily need to know right now, though, right? Like if they're on the fence, I don't know if they're gonna make that trade because they're like, I can't necessarily afford that. So that's where it comes into has crap.
That would be the teams that are like 4-1, 5-0. Those teams that could take the hit of Nico. They're going to be the ones that are going to trade for the McCaffreys. Those guys. So we'll go get one of their producers, right? Like it kind of works for both of you guys. I would say.
Right. TS asked us start one wide receiver, one flex PPR. Scary Terry, Evans, Devontae Smith, Wandale, Connor, Pollard.
Ooh, that is really nice. I kind of want to start a lot of these guys personally.
Yeah.
Let me actually go my flex rankings, and I will give you a better answer than what I have. Because give me a second.
I think the wide receiver is Smitty. I think that's where going. They're playing Cleveland though, so
no, don't.
Yeah,
I would say it's Evans or Scary Terry or Wandale. Yeah. Like I would do those three over Devonta Smith. Yeah. Terry's just nice. Like his air yards are out of control this year, so I'm fine with Terry or Evans in that one. And then like I still like Connor a lot. I think he's really good, but I think Pollard's a really good one too. So if you have a preference on those guys, sorry, I'm stalling for time here. So maybe Jeremy can find it.
Yeah, I got Terry at wide receiver 14. It's stupid how high he is this week, but Baltimore absolutely sucks, giving up to every pass catcher except tight ends. They're a little more stout in the middle. But only a little bit. On the outside, they're terrible. Deep down the middle, they're terrible. So for me, it's Scary Terry. That should be a absolute barn burner with Jaden Daniels and Lamar Jackson going against some subpar defenses. And then I'm going Tony Pollard as well in the flex against Indy. I think Pollard and Tajay Eaton this one.
Yep. I like that.
I concur with that. I just think Evans I like, but New Orleans divisional matchup it could be tougher too. Terry, he's him and Jaden Daniels are catching that stride, and you want to ride that wave every week you can right now.
Yeah, that's one of our plays. It's a boxing match again.
Yeah, and Pollard, I just think that's gonna be a great matchup for them too. I mean, it's you have McBride against Green Bay or Connor against Green Bay. I don't know. I think we may see a Marvin Harrison type of game this week, so I will go Pollard over. I think that they're going to rely on him for sure.
Yeah, I've Connor a couple spots about Pollard, but like I really like Pollard this week, so I'm all aboard playing him.
But we talked about guys, we're looking to buy. What about guys we're trying to sell? I mean, is there anyone specifically? We were talking about some guys right here, Deco and opportunities. If you can try to sell them, but who are guys we're trying to sell in necessary redraft or even dynasty?
I think it depends on the format and what you have, but like I think now is a really good time to get out on Stephon Diggs in Dynasty because his value just shot up. Like the Nico injury, where people are trading him for like Rashee Rice plus, like they're doing deals like that. Mm-hmm. And if you could do that with an aging wide receiver who's past, like this is what I talk about all these aging wide receivers. The market value is always capped with them unless they go like Cooper Kupp, like they go super mega, like Super Saiyan, right? That's not going to happen for him. He's still really good. People like him because he's attached to CJ Stroud. So if I can get a first, or if I can do anything like that I would happily trade Stephon Diggs for that. And you could likely get more given his value. So I would go target young under producers or first round picks and move them in Dynasty for that for sure.
Do we think Rashee Rice, though, anything comes out of him possibly being suspended too?
I mean, it's for sure a risk. I think he's very insulated though with that roster and how they use him. Like the weird thing is like they just pivoted to Juju, and Juju's just like worst version of Rashee. Like when Rashee Rice comes back, I think he misses 6 weeks, and you get him second half next year. Like I'm fine making that deal. Everyone might not be, so that's why you go do draft capital or you go find a similar player. You know what I'm saying? Go get a young player that you really like. Maybe you do a deal where you get Roma Dudes in your squad before he goes off. Like you find ways to kind of get these young, talented wide receivers that are holding cachet. Like that's what I would do.
For sure. What about you, Jeremy? Who are we looking to sell?
Yeah, I mean, it depends what you can get for him, but I think T. Higgins, his value obviously has skyrocketed. He's only played a few games here this season, but we saw him get back into stride. 6 targets 2 weeks ago against Carolina, 10 targets 2 weeks ago against Carolina, 14 targets last week. But Joe Burrow has been throwing the ball at an unsustainable level, 52, 54, I think, attempts last week in a shootout in Baltimore. They're not all going to be shootouts, especially this week against the Giants, although they could be. We just talked about how bad Cincy's defense is, so it's certainly possible, but the schedule doesn't really line up for T to eat, and I think that they're going to, once Moss is kind of completely healthy, as he wasn't in the middle of last game, they're going to be able to rely on the run a little bit more. Eric All looks like he's getting more involved. Mike Gesicki is out there running routes. So I just don't think T is capable of maintaining this level of production. And we've seen this from T his whole career. He's been a boom bust guy who has these games where he goes off for 2 touchdowns. If anyone thinks that T Higgins is this guy, as kind of like a high-end wide receiver too, I'm selling him at those prices. Redraft Dynasty doesn't matter. And I'm just going to get out and get the bag right now.
Yeah, that's fair. And I think this offseason there was hope that he was going to get traded, right? So he could be the alpha star, the wide receiver one. It didn't happen. Yeah. Could still happen next year. But at that point, where is he going, right? We've seen it time and time again where players go to bad places and it's like it doesn't work out because the quarterback's not there, right? What if he goes to a place where, Carolina, where it's a shaky situation in the quarterback? What if he goes somewhere to Jacksonville and it's like, well, now we have Brian Thomas and T. Higgins. What's this going to do, right? So there's just a lot of ifs there where, yeah, you can't definitely sell him at the max right now because if they are a striker, we know Jamar Chase is still the guy there. So sell him at the value of being a one with him not being that one for sure. Yeah. One of my guys right now is probably Chuba Hubbard. Not probably. I mean, that's who I'm looking at is Chuba Hubbard. He's very efficient. He's getting the work. We know that. But we also know Jonathan Brooks is going to make a debut. We know he's going to come in. Chuba Hubbard should still be the guy there. If you look at the tape back there when they were in college, we knew Jonathan Brooks is the better back coming in, right? He's had some opportunities here. He's a strong back. He's a rookie. He's ready to play. So right now, his value could be super high. I believe right now he's like RB 8 on the season right now. And so you can possibly go get him for maybe a David Montgomery. because David Montgomery is a huge effective weapon, and we're seeing him do it in a timeshare with Jamar Gibbs. They're using him in certain situations. They're using him in goal lines. They know when he can, rush the ball. He's getting 100-yard games as well. And we know it's just a factor. With some unknowns of what's happening with Jonathan Brooks, it may be worth it to go do something like that because you can possibly get someone that has continuous value and not possible dead value when another rookie jumps in there.
Yeah, I think that's a good one. Even in Dynasty, I'm looking at his price right now. You could trade him straight up for Amari Cooper. You can move for Tyrone Tracy. You can move for Rico Dowdle. You can move him for Pat Freiermuth. I'd move him for all those options, to tell you the truth. Like, they could all be better for you. But yeah, I would do that.
You could possibly get Rico and Tyrone Tracy for him. I mean, because Tyrone's like, it's not, we don't know what it is, and Rico, I mean, even with how officially he's looking, the idea is that they're still gonna get a running back next year, anyways, right? But I mean, a lot of these could change. But I mean, that could be a very good pick for him.
Yep.
Yeah, and we know that his value is going to take a hit when Brooks is ready to go. I just think, look, this team is 1-4. Should Brooks come in and immediately handle the load off of a year-long injury? No. I mean, Carolina is playing for 2 years from now. So why would you put Brooks at risk? And Dave Canales has come out and said, Chuba Hubbard, I love that guy, right? He's a coach's player. The locker room likes him. So I just don't think he goes away. I am looking to sell Jonathan Brooks right now in redraft only.
Sure.
If I can get a haul, if I'm an elite contender in Dynasty, I would consider it as well for that assumed value. Will Jonathan Brooks be good when he comes back? He should be. He looks damn good on tape before the injury. But I think there's value to be had right now with him. And it's very possible that Chuba is still the 1A for a while here, if not the whole season.
Yeah, he's definitely having a role. He's good enough.
A couple questions we have here. Periaco, thank you for joining in. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel here. But pick up Njoku, Auden, or likely for next week with Ferguson on the bye. Let me see.
You already know my answer. I'll let y'all take this because you guys know my answer. So yeah, not this one.
Is he going to play, Jesse? Though
I know that's the problem.
Damn,
injuries are killing me, man. His injuries are killing me.
Well, who do you think now, Jeremy?
This is a tough one. I got to see who they're playing next week. I leaned likely only because I do not love Cade Otton. I should probably change my tune on that because he is getting plenty of targets. But let's see. Likely has Tampa in 2 weeks. If Otton has a good matchup, I'm going to go Otton. Let's see what it is. It
Baltimore.
is in 2 weeks from today. It's Baltimore. Tight end is the only position they can cover. Mike Evans and Chris Godwin are going to eat in that game. I'd probably go
versus Cincy.
Yeah, just come get Njoku.
Okay, it's Njoku. It's
his beleaguered ass with the one leg will probably be better than those guys.
For sure.
It's Njoku. Do it.
And the thing is, likely is great, but that's what we talk about. Sell them at their value, right? Sell them, don't hold them, because that's an opportunity where you had it to sell what you can. I know some people are like, oh, no, he's the one. No, there is no tight end one. They don't necessarily, they're not using them the way we wanted them to, right? It's a great game. You saw the opportunity. And now, all right, we're seeing the effect of Derrick Henry. It's Derrick Henry or Lamar Jackson. That's the show. And just buy tickets to that. Sell everyone you can at some high value when you can there as well. Good question there, though, Perioka. Q has one, Kraft or Laporta.
That's so tough. The one thing about Kraft that worries me is he's not getting first read looks. Even with all the injuries to that offense, like, he is not getting first read looks. So what that means is he's not the first read in the passing attack, which is really difficult for tight ends because he's living off of yak and he's making these big plays. Now, he can be viable in that role, but I think Laporta is just a better tight end. And I get it. He's dealing with issues, but like we know what Laporta is. I'm still a little bit worried on Kraft, so I'm gonna trust Laporta each and every week over Kraft until I see a little bit more from him.
Fair. Same boat, Jeremy.
Except for this week, Tucker Kraft, tight end 4 against Arizona. Arizona, they're terrible. Dallas is terrible too, but at least Dallas is stout in the middle. The problem with Dallas is Eric Kendricks is not going to play this week. That's a massive blow to a terrible defense. I don't know what the hell Mike Zimmer's going to do. I don't know what the hell Mike Zimmer's been doing. Fire both of these guys up, sure, but I pick Kraft in a pinch.
For sure. I like it. I mean, you just got again. You got to ride the wave, man. If you're going between, that's not a bad. If you're deciding between those, congrats, man. Hats off to you there. That's a great competition there. You probably bought low on Kraft, I'm assuming, but that's great. JB, I sent an offer today sending Pacheco, Pickens, 25 first for Gibbs. I also
Okay.
said another one with Ingram instead of Pacheco.
Yeah, I get it. I mean, it's kind of steep just based on you're sending two players that have like taken significant hits to their cachet the past couple of weeks. So I get why you kind of have to package again it. But yeah, overall, you're going to be happy with Gibbs long term when you do this deal. So I understand it probably seems like a lot, but yeah, I'm fine making that move to get Gibbs personally.
If I'm Gibbs, I'm not taking that offense.
That's the thing. See,
I hope it works out for you, Jamie.
I'd be curious on what that pick is, because at 25 first, if you're looking at potential top 5, there's a chance you get a top running.
Yeah, that's a different story. I would trash that. But
very true.
If you're competing and it's late, you're not doing that.
Yeah, it's Jamie. It's probably late. It would be my assumption.
Yeah.
Jamie's
Agree.
So, yeah.
Agree.
Keith, welcome in. Murray or Fields, also pick one. Deontay Wandale or Saheed, 10-man PPR. Started Ayuk already, gave me a dud. Unfortunately, that's what a lot of us are having to deal with Ayuk right now. He has not been doing what we thought his contract was worth. Man, sometimes we got to take the hits, bounce back next week. But we are going with the first 2 questions.
I'm real tempted to play Wandale in this game. The defense they're going against, like Cincinnati's just been atrocious across the board. So I don't mind Wandale over our boy Deontay this week. I don't mind it. Without Neighbors, like he's going to be like the guy in that passing attack. I know Darius Slayton could have a good game too. So if you want to fire someone up on Darius Slayton, I get it. And on the flip side, it's Murray and Fields is tough. I'm gonna stall as I look at Murray because I think I have Murray 1 or 2 spots above Fields. But yeah, I have Murray at 9. And actually, no, I have Fields 2 spots above Murray. So I'm playing Justin Fields. There we go.
There you go.
Yeah.
Murray,
I get that with Fields, but I'm going to go Kyler Murray here. We just know that the rushing is insane for him. Green Bay has proven to be a little bit older up front. Certainly their linebackers are trending young with their 2 draft picks, and they're working them in a lot more lately. But I still think Kyler Murray is an absolute beast and going to run around like crazy on them. And we know that you can pass on this defense in Green Bay. So MHJ, as SC mentioned earlier, MHJ is going to go off, I think, in this one. They have a few good pass catchers there for sure with McBride and Wilson and Dortch. So, yeah, I'm going to go Murray, but it is close.
I have Murray at 9 and Justin Fields at 10. So, in a sense, flip a coin, but I would take Murray this week, slightly over him. If we're talking about just, maybe a couple more points than him. Deontay, Wandale, and Shaheed. I have Wandale. Deontay's playing against Atlanta. They have a nice secondary. Shaheed, Spencer Rattler, I like him, man. We this is what we wanted, right? We were talking about Rattler being that steal, and hopefully he comes in and balls out. But with that being his first game, I need to see that first. Wandale has a chemistry with Daniel Jones. They're playing against a defense right now. So I'm gonna take Wandale there. Sorry about Ayuk.
It's happened, man. He's super talented in his role and everything, but yeah, it's just boom or bust sometimes. That's how it is. It's just you kind of have to live with it, Ayuk, unfortunately.
Arturo, welcome in, my man.
Yes.
Trade James Cook or Bijan Robinson.
Hammer, smash that.
In redraft and in Dynasty, 100%.
Every format,
everywhere.
I love James Cook, and he's been really good.
Same.
Bijan's been struggling, but like this is what we call a buy low opportunity because Bijan is really good. They just got to figure it out, and they will figure it out. And like Cook's dealing with an injury this week, you're probably not going to want to play him that much.
Right.
I get it, but yeah, it could be a rough game for James Cook this week.
Yeah, and there's no way that you get the prices on Bijan after this Carolina game. If you think, this is the lowest he's going to be. It's Carolina, then Seattle, then a mediocre matchup against Tampa, then Dallas. Over the next month, Bijan is going to run wild. He should. We've said this before, but actually the matchups line up this time. It's been a really tough 5-game stretch for Bijan. Even though Tampa wasn't supposed to be that bad. They weren't. They just passed all over.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
Fair enough. E-Man, welcome in. Bucky or Eckler this week, PPR?
Bucky. Give me Bucky for sure. Particularly if White does not play, which seems like he's not. Yeah, I'm definitely taking Bucky. Bucky's going to get volume. I actually like Eckler's effects play, but yeah, Bucky for sure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm very high on Eckler this week, a lot higher than usual. But I will also go with Bucky, assuming White is out. If White is in or he's going to play in a limited fashion, it'll be closer, but I'll still go Bucky.
Yeah, I agree too. I think Bucky here, just the way they can use him around Eckler. We know it's a Brian Robinson show for him. So yeah, I'm taking Bucky there. JB's on board with us because Ravens tough matchup. Yeah, 100%. Kyle Ellis, welcome in. Don't forget to subscribe to the show here. Let us know when we're live every single day. Start one. Trey Sermon, Brian Robinson, Bigsby, or Eckler.
It might be Bigsby.
Yeah, that's rough.
I mean, it's a juicy matchup for Bigsby. I have Bigsby as a borderline top 12 running back this week, so I am really high on Bigsby. I'm worried about ETN, so like that's where I'm going with Bigsby.
I am too. I think the question is, you can cut the other two. The question is Brian Robinson or Tank Bigsby. Brian Robinson, love him every single week. He's still my RB15 this week, but he's going against Baltimore. Super tough matchup. We know we can throw the ball on Baltimore, and Brian Robinson isn't involved in the passing game as much as Austin Eckler. So I do like Eckler. I do like Brian Robinson, but I'm going to go Tank Bigsby on this one.
When it comes to the overseas matchups, those scare me. A lot of times you see less production because whatever time difference, stuff like that. So if it is Bigsby and Etienne, so I think it might not be as explosive as we're wanting it to be. So I'm gonna take Brian Robinson on this one slightly, just because I'm not. The overseas ones always scare me, especially when you have them that early, than what they're used to. So could be different, but I'm gonna take Robinson here.
Yeah.
There to discover. Let's discover what he's asking here. Start two: Shakir, Wicks, Chase Brown, Tolbert, and Tyrone Tracy.
So I have the two highest guys in my flex rankings are Dontavian Wicks and Tyrone Tracy this week. The thing with Chase Brown is it looks like Zach Moss is going to play. I don't know how he magically healed, but he's supposed to be good to go. So that is what worries me. If Chase Brown had all the work, I would be more bullish on him. But yeah, I'm trusting Dontavian Wicks. I'm going back to it. And then Tyrone Tracy, man, it's a juicy matchup. That Cincy defense can't do anything, so he should get a lot of fancy points in a game that's projected for 48 points.
Yeah, sure. I agree with this. I think Shakir is an interesting thought, but against the best defense in the league, I do not want to fire him up. He's going to be what Wandale is when Malik Neighbors is there, not scoring you a touchdown, soaking up a bunch of volume. That's he's got a nice floor. He's got a 10-point PPR floor. But he's probably not going to get you more than 15 points. I think Wicks has the opportunity to absolutely go off. I also love Jalen Tolbert this week. Mm-hmm. We saw him do it last week. He's facing a defense where you cannot run the ball on the Detroit Lions, and the Dallas Cowboys cannot run the ball. So they're just going to be airing it out. No Brandon Cooks. I really think that Tolbert is going to go off. That said, I'm banking on a Wicks bounce back week. Wicks and Tracy.
I think I'm looking at my rankings. I definitely had Tracy the highest. I like Chase Brown, but Zach Moss is there too. Wicks actually have ranked the second highest here. Secure the lowest, but then Tolbert is someone that I really love as well. I think if you're looking at flex plays, that's the definition of a flex. Oh, yeah. I mean, we talked about, right? He's Swobert over here. He's flexing on him, which, we have more questions here. We'll get to all of them, we promise, guys. But speaking on the flexing on them, tell us who is our favorite flex of the week.
Well, I'll start a guy that I'm significantly higher on consensus with, and this is what I've been talking about all game. It's Tyrone all show. It's Tyrone Tracy. Most people are lower on him this week. I have him borderline. He's RB13. I'm all aboard Tyrone Tracy show this week. It will change if Singletary plays. That's the one thing I don't expect him to play. So I'm treating the rankings if Singletary's out. If Singletary's out, it's Tyrone Tracy show. So he is my RB13, and he has a top 48 asset this week in his flex spot. So I'm playing him everywhere.
How about you, Jeremy?
Love that. I'm going to take one of Jesse's guy, and I'm starting and flexing Rome Odunze. Rome Odunze absolutely looked really good last week. 6 targets, 5 receptions, 40 yards. Did not get in the end zone, but we've seen him blow up against terrible defenses. He went 6 for 112 and 1 against Indianapolis, who can't cover anyone. You know who can't cover anyone? The Jacksonville Jaguars. That's who they're playing this week. We saw Caleb Williams put it together last week and actually run a functional offense against, another defense that can't cover anyone, the Carolina Panthers. So in these terrible matchups, I love Rome as that field stretching guy who can also kind of collect those targets. I do not see Keenan Allen as that guy anymore. Cole Kmet could be involved. That could be kind of something that brings Odunze's targets down, but we talk about it when these rookie wide receivers get more and more comfortable, they start to produce. And Rome is kind of that typical arc where I think it's going to start trending upward. They get a bye week, and then they get Washington, Arizona. I mean, it's going to be really nice for Rome. I think it starts this week in Jacksonville.
Yeah, he's a great buy.
Or in London, rather.
I think that's a great call. I like it.
two rookie prospects that we were on, when we talked about our rookie profiles and did mocks, Tracy was someone we got later. We also said, hey, grab him when you can. And then Roma Dunze, we were all on him as well as, one of the top receivers in this draft. And he was someone that we even knew because of his role behind DJ Moore and even Keenan Allen that it may take some time. Granted, Keenan was hurt at the beginning, but we knew it was going to take time. We knew he wasn't going to go in there and do it. And now a lot of rookies, you have your outliers, don't get me wrong, but a lot of rookies on both sides, you talk about on the running backs or even wide receivers, it takes a while for them to get that chance. And once they get it, though, that second half of the season is a boom part for them. So Roma Dunze is one of those. Tyrone Tracy possibly too. I do like Devin Singletary, but man, with how efficient Tyrone Tracy is, this is exactly what we said he was at Purdue. And he kind of showed it, being effective in the pass catching and also making the plays, running the ball, getting small when he needs to, but also having some breakaway speed. He's definitely showing the flex on them. Y'all gave two rookies. I'm going to give you a veteran here. I'm sticking with the Giants, so I'm going Darius Slayton. We saw him lead it, the team last week with 11 receptions, 11 targets, 8 receptions, over 100 yards and a touchdown. They play another, we talked about it, bad secondary here in Cincinnati. We know Malik Nabers is not out, so right now the de facto guys are Wan'Dale Robinson and Darius Slayton, though. But two guys that have been with them already. So Daniel Jones already knows a little bit about them. Granted, they've all had injuries where they're not seeing the field 100% at the same time last season, but we know they have some sort of chemistry. I think Darius Slayton could have another big game. Wan'Dale I like as a flex too. If we're going deeper, I'm gonna say Slayton's not bad to go after, and he's possibly a free agent that you can acquire as well. So if you need it because you're on bye weeks or injuries or whatever, I think you can go out there and grab him.
Yeah, that's a great call. I think it's a good flex play.
Yeah, love it. And if you can't get him for some reason, somebody already has him. Theo Johnson is another option in that same game.
As you know, we're always dropping content daily, so don't forget to subscribe to our channel. We'll talk to you on who we need to flex, and then leave some comments. Let us know what you're thinking. But Jamie, crap, he said he got a tough one here. Start Warren, Dameon Pierce, or Foreman. Drop them all.
Warren.
Najee's the worst running back in the
Warren.
league. Najee's been the worst running back in the league, and I know SC's here and he's our Najee guy, but he's been abysmal. So a healthy Jalen Warren, he has a chance. I think they're going to just start giving him more and more workload, where there could be he's the 1A at some point in that offense. So I'm trusting Jalen Warren. Dameon Pierce, he's backing up Joe Mixon and stuff. Foreman, it's I don't want anything to do with that Cleveland offense, to tell you the truth. Like those running backs, like Jerome Ford or Foreman, no thank you. So for me, it's clearly Warren.
Yeah, I agree. Just because of Najee may still get the carries, but with how inefficient he has been, Warren's gonna get the shots, and they're gonna get him in there. And they're probably gonna they'll probably use Najee on 1 and 2, but then Warren might be the pass catching guy just because he has the injuries. It really depends on how he's ready to go. If it's an injury legally, I mean that's with Dameon Pierce too. But if Nixon's back 100%. I don't even think Dameon Pierce might be the RB2. It might be Ogunwable. I can't say that name correctly. But so I think Warren's the safest one. If you can afford to just keep him on your bench, though, you might want to do that too. That might be the play.
And Warren is the element they've been missing in that offense. I mean, Najee he's a bulldozer. He's only getting something like, I don't think he's not beyond 4 yards a carry, right? So that's abysmal by NFL running back standards. Jalen Warren is not only a breakaway element, but an element in the passing game out of the backfield as well. They're just missing another playmaker alongside George Pickens. So with Warren in the game and with Cordero Patterson out for this game for sure, we know he's not going to vulture touches. It's Warren by a lot.
Najee Harris and a second-round pick. This is what Pittsburgh should do. Najee Harris and a second-round pick for Devontae Adams. Go ahead and send them there.
Yeah,
sure. Try to do.
Yeah, like you're trading it very much a depreciating asset for a good NFL receiver. Yeah, I'd be fine with that.
And they need a running back too, right? You're running with Alex Madison and Zamir White. Yeah, go get someone that can hopefully be more efficient on your team.
Oof, that'd be rough. Oh, that line for Najee. I feel bad for him, man. That'd be rough.
Q asked us again, should I see if I can do Mixon, Pacheco, and Collins for Hall? Yes. What do y'all think?
That's a lot.
That is a lot.
Also, I think you could get this done fairly easily if you're trading all this for Breece Hall, because you're giving Mixon, who's been he hasn't played very much this year, but his role is top 12 running back. Pacheco, another really good running back, and then you're giving Nico Collins, one of the best wide receivers in the NFL. So you're giving them a ton of assets to play with. If I had Breece Hall, I'd take that deal. I tell you, I don't think you need to add all of that in.
Yeah, I would too.
So
Agree.
if you're giving me that for Brees Hall, like take Brees Hall. Like I get
You
it.
might be-
Brees Hall.
You might be able to do Pacheco. I mean, maybe not because he's injured too. But if you
Yeah,
do Collins and
I'd keep
Mixon,
Mixon. Yeah, I'd keep Mixon and do Pacheco and Nico Collins if you could do that.
let's see if you do it.
Yep.
That last
Agree.
thing for Gibbs, it was a late first. I don't think
Yeah,
it's
no
happening.
Hey, it's
Yeah.
always worth it. You can try, right? All you can do is try.
Yeah.
See what happens.
Like you agree on that too, Jeremy? That pick there for Hall.
Yeah. 100%. Yeah. Not that
JB,
all the way.
I have one down Deontay back to back, both top 12. Spicy. I like it. The secondary haunts me in Atlanta. They have a pretty good secondary, so I don't know if Dalton does what we want him to do with Deontay.
Agree.
This might be a Chuba Hubbard type of game because they have a horrible
game.
front seven. So
Oh yeah, Chuba's gonna eat.
Yeah.
Cardinals cover 3 half the time most of the league. Yeah.
Ooh, Jaden Reed's about to pop off.
Mhm.
It's like, and
But
Wicks,
yeah, every
Wicks
week.
Jerry.
What week is it? Doesn't matter. Every week, Jaden Reed's
Yeah.
about to pop off. Just
This is an ideal matchup for Wicks if he can put it together. We'll see.
Joshua coming in, started RB2 at Flex PPR, Trey Summer, Jacoby Myers, Tracy Jr., Quentin Johnson. Let me know about Tracy if Singletary plays or if he doesn't. We will answer this, but before everyone that is joining, we appreciate y'all joining. Don't forget to subscribe. And also, every Sunday morning, we are live an hour and a half before kickoff, answering every start-sit question as well. So if you're here today, come back tomorrow. All of us are always on there, give you the best advice moving forward for your fantasy football leagues. But what do y'all think about this question?
Well, I will say, and those true sickos that are up on the early morning London games. I think Jeremy's going to be up in more early morning. We're going to be doing a sit start show on that too. So if you're up real early, not us West Coast heads, like I'm going to be sleeping. But
yeah, obviously.
we'll be in there 30 minutes before kickoff tomorrow morning. So join us. We will put information out. So like and subscribe to make sure you do not miss that notification.
Start ARB2 and a flex. Okay.
Tracy.
Tracy's a must.
This Myers matchup is a little troubling because they're playing freaking the worst defense. Like it's Denver. So
yeah, but it's AOC.
Pittsburgh.
Oh, sorry, it's Pittsburgh. Yeah, that's not good either, though. That's not great.
Agree.
Well, I would probably go both running backs, and I would flex Trey Sermon because he's going to get volume. So it's Tracy and Sermon for me.
Yeah. The crazy thing about Myers is he played Denver last week, and he actually had 6 receptions, right? So Surtain did not have to shadow anyone because there's nobody good enough for his shadowing, and he still came up with 2 picks in that game, including a 101-yard pick 6. So he did his job in that game. But yeah, I agree with you. Against Pittsburgh, I don't want to start Myers. I'm going to go Tracy for sure, and then the ugly one I think is Sermon.
Yeah, I like Tracy for sure. Yeah, you gotta go Sermon. I mean, Tennessee, they're on like their first 7. And it's more so actually the offensive line in Indy is pretty good when it comes to it. So you can trust Sermon to get some carries there. Quentin Johnson, the Chargers are playing who?
They're playing Denver.
Oh no,
They're
I
the
don't
team
want
that's
that.
playing
Denver. Yeah, Denver.
No, outside wide receiver, good luck. I actually really like Ladd though. I really like Ladd in this game because he can eat in the slot, and that's where they struggle, and he'll be good in that. But do not play Quentin Johnson. That sounds like a nightmare decision. Don't do it.
Denver, I know fantasy-wise on offense, we're not in on it, but their defense, man, has been lights out. Their defense has been great. They've been really good. And Surtain probably is cutting Johnston, and he's the new island, right? Surtain Island there. So I'm not necessarily taking that. Joshua has one here for us. Thanks for joining in, Joseph. Excuse me, I said Joshua. Joseph, thanks for joining in. Connor and Rome for Marvin Harrison and Dallo, 4-1. Just lost Nico. Have Pacheco coming back week 9-10, possibly. I'm taking this. What are y'all doing?
Yeah, I'm the Rome guy. This is right after my heart. So you're giving the running back upgrade is significant with James Conner. I don't think the wide receiver downgrade is as much as people are expecting it to be. Now it could be. There is a really high upside with Marvin Harrison Jr. So there's that. But yeah, I'll take the Connor Rome side. Like I'll take that bet. So
because you are the Rome guy, all right, you said you would take it. So if you're the MHJ Dowdle owner, you would take that trade?
Yeah. Like I like Dowdle as a bet. It's just not sure, man. That's just what worries me.
He's scouting. He's scouting for his MHJ.
That's fair.
He's scouting for his Rome Connor teams.
Yeah. Like, come on, let's make a deal. Hey, we'll make a deal. We can make one on here. I'm fine doing that.
Jerry, what are your thoughts?
I want MHJ. I want MHJ and Dowdle. I don't think Dowdle is the downgrade on Connor that we think he is. I want the passing options in this Arizona offense as opposed to the rushing options. This schedule for James Conner isn't necessarily friendly moving forward. It's not terrible, but I think I'm trusting on MHJ blowing up in that second half. And the Chicago schedule, as much as I just talked up Rome, Chicago's schedule in the second half is brutal. So I don't know what's going to happen there. Someone's going to score fantasy points. I don't think it's Caleb Williams, though. And so I think there's probably just room for one pass catcher a week. That means Rome is more boom bust over the second half. And I think Dowdle comes on. So give me MHJ and Dowdle.
That's fair. I like it. I agree with you too. I think just MHJ with Robe, even before, well, I mean, we know he's behind DJ Moore. I know he's gonna get fed, but DJ Moore still is their guy, and they re-signed him. So MHJ is the one. So it's very close because they can both go off. Don't get me wrong, but we know MHJ is the one, so we know the targets are guaranteed to go towards him. Dallo is looking like the guy. I mean, but we're talking about he beat out Zeke, so. Is that really something to be excited about? Maybe not. So maybe losing Connor is, but what Jeremy said, schedule looks rough for them down the line. And we do know Trey Benson is there too. And as we talked about, second half of rookies, it could be Benson season the second half of the season too.
Yeah, I mean, the weird thing about Benson is they benched him. They basically just took him off the field because he's been atrocious. So he needs to, and like this is my concern, the vision. That vision's got to improve. You got to make those decisions quicker. So yeah, to your point, like he's a rookie, he gets time. It might happen for him. But I think that's a 2025 play personally.
Then we had another one here, Joshua. 1 second. Up top. Tight end question. Start a tight end. We have Evan Ingram Strange or Conklin. I think I go Ingram Strange. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I'm with you.
Ingram.
Yep.
Good matchup there. Appreciate that about the good.
Jack's defense is bad on the outside, folks. Like Jamie's nailing.
Rome. Let's go.
Yep, Rome DJ Moore gonna go off.
Joshua has another one though. Josh Downs, Keenan Allen, Quinton Johnson, Lad McConkey. Downs is playing.
Lad's the highest.
Lad and Downs.
I know people think the Denver matchup's bad, but it's not versus slot. They play a ton of man coverage. Lad absolutely is eating in man coverage so far this season. Like he's been awesome in man coverage. So I expect to have a good game. You could do Keenan Allen, but he's coming off the injury. Like I'll probably have Downs the highest, but I don't like it. I don't like it. Are you gonna go Keenan then?
No, I'm going Downs, but they're back-to-back in my rankings, Downs and Keenan. I get it, 40 and 41. You have to downgrade Downs because of Anthony Richardson is playing and not Joe Flacco. The thing is, I don't think he takes nearly as much of a hit as the other pass catchers in this offense. Alec Pierce is a ridiculous alien anomaly. We have to just he's going to get his or he's not. I can't bank on that, but I can bank on Josh Downs, especially with Trey Sermon in there. When they have to pass the ball. Look, Josh Downs is probably going to get 50% target share. That only means he gets 7 targets, but he's probably going to get 50% target share in this offense against Tennessee. I'm gonna roll with Downs here.
Yeah, if Keenan's fully healthy and in his role, he should have a good game. It's been so tough with him this year. It's been brutal.
Speaking of Alec Pierce, I mean, he's someone that after the first week you may have had an overreaction to. So don't forget, every Monday, Jeremy drops his article, Overreaction Mondays, going in, where he talks about happenings over the league, gives you some good insight there as well. Quincy on the fantasyfootballuniverse.com. Go check out the website. Quincy asks us, though, would you drop Juju for Tolbert?
No. If you need him, Juju's on bye, right? Yeah. So if you need Tolbert, yes. I don't know. I don't know if there's a situation where you need to flex Tolbert this week. I would like to, but I really want to hold Juju for the rest of the season because he's the guy. Here's the thing, and I have to look more into this. I don't know for sure, but Xavier Worthy, although he's being looked at by Patrick Mahomes on his first read targets, which is a good thing. The other thing is I'm not sure his ability to, like Kelsey does, to kind of ad-lib with Patrick Mahomes. Mahomes is running around for his life back there. I know Juju can do that, and I know that Mahomes looks for Juju in those scenarios if Kelsey's covered.
Oh no, I thought Marquise was coming back out for the season. Okay, yeah, I mean it's tough. I do like Tolbert. Drop him, I wouldn't, because I would try, if you want, try to trade Juju for something and then go pick up Tolbert. I wouldn't necessarily drop him because I think there's value there. And even in redraft, that's a struggle I have every year in redraft, is I have guys that have value, but I need positions. I'm like, I need to drop someone, but it's like, man, try to trade them for a defense, if anything. If you just can't do it because redraft, either you're playing defense, or just try to trade them to get some value back and then go pick up that guy. Don't drop value for a potential value there as well. Drew coming in. Welcome in, Drew. Tracy or Connor?
Connor. Like
Connor.
Connor's still a really good running back, and we know the volume is going to be there. With Tracy, like I love the matchup and everything. You still have to do a little bit of projecting for him because like Connor still gets the passing down work too on top of it. So like there's multiple ways he can get there. And in this game against Green Bay, they have to score a lot to keep pace. Like it's going to be a shootout. So I actually like Connor this week. He's top 12 for me. So I have Connor slightly above Tracy.
Yeah, Connor about 5 spots ahead. Confidently playing Connor over Tracy.
Connor's a good one. I like that. Jamie saying what we've been saying about Reed. Yeah, this is a big game for him. He's going to get his matchup. So
absurd.
We'll get there. But George asking us here, who can I trade Christian Kirk and Chase Brown for?
The thing about Kirk is he's not a bad player, but that offense is just broken right now. And his role has been kind of sidelined with what they want to do. So, I mean, you have with Chase Brown, you have a guy that you can flex even when Zach Moss is playing. So you could package them into like a top 24-ish running back, but it's really tough to get high. Like to get with those two type of assets, you're not going to get an elite running back. So you need to take a gamble on like a Bucky if you want to do that long term, or one, like one of those guys. Maybe Brian Robinson Jr. dealing with injury, stuff like that. But you're not going to get like a top 12 guy. So it's tough.
Yeah, I don't think you get Brian Robinson, but I got 2 other nasty boy names for you at the running back position. They are Ramondre Stevenson and Javonte Williams. These are 2 guys that you can get with this package. These are 2 guys that you'll be happy enough with as your RB2 flex weekly, especially Javonte Williams. He's just done enough to hold the job. No one else is coming for that job. They tried it. Those guys have either been injured or ineffective in Denver this year. Go ahead and get Javonte Williams for this package.
Yeah,
I like that.
Good.
I like
at some point estimate will be there, but like I'm not worried about it.
Brian Robinson just out. Breaking news on the FFU Universe, but Brian Robinson is out. So Eckler, you can
go get Brian Robinson. Go get Brian Robinson then. Yeah,
yes.
Love Brian Robinson.
That offense is awesome. So you want the pieces of Washington, yeah.
Truth, maybe not, Bobby. If you could go out there and get Deontay after a bad week, that may be possible as well.
You try. Bad offense. At least he's going to get the usage, right? So yeah.
We're going to get through some of these questions here. George asking us, start 1 non-PPR, Amari Cooper, Brian Thomas, or J-Mo. Non-PPR?
You just want yards. So non-PPR doesn't matter. You just want yards. I don't want to do the Amari Cooper thing as much as I like his role and everything. Deshaun Watson is abysmal. Yeah. So I'm just going Brian Thomas Jr., man. Like if we're chasing yards, that dude's putting up yards. So give me Brian Thomas Jr.
I'm going J-Mo against Dallas. Dallas.
It's a good matchup.
He's my wide receiver 14 this week. It's ridiculous.
Spicy.
Shootout.
I like it.
That's not bad. I take Thomas. This guy, I think he's a little bit more efficient. J-Mo has that same role, but I think Thomas, they're actually using him. Thomas or J-Mo has a lot more weapons, not just receivers, but also running backs. He has to worry about that.
He's a more extreme boom bust version than Brian Thomas Jr. It's super up and down with him.
This is the test for Brian Thomas Jr. at Chicago. So, I mean, this is the test, and I hope he comes through. I just don't want to bet, when with guys going up against Chicago.
Yeah, I get it.
Orange asking in. Don't forget, guys and gals, everyone watching, every Sunday morning, hour and a half before kickoff, we have the Start Shit show going in and Start Shit, excuse me. And we have Jerry
don't start shit. We'll help you.
There you go.
I mean, you can. I would recommend it, though.
Sometimes in the bye weeks, man, we're in some hell there, so you never know. But then Jeremy's going to be on early to talk that London game going on, Jacksonville versus the Chicago Bears there as well. But Orange asking us, I need 2 flexes and 1 RB from this full PPR. Am I screwed? Antonio Gibson, Chase Brown, Rico, Jaden Tolbert, Darius Slayton. I don't think you're screwed, man. I mean, these.
I think you're okay.
Who are you guys playing a wide receiver? Are you guys playing, if you're flexing one of those guys, are you playing Slayton or are you guys playing Tolbert? Because I think I'm playing Slayton over Tolbert.
Slayton. Slayton.
Running backs.
I'm playing both.
Yeah, you playing both of them?
Well, I'm playing both with the 2 flexes here with this question. Yeah.
Same.
Yeah, you could go Dowdle, but it's not a matchup. So yeah, that's the thing.
You got running back.
I'm playing Gibson, and I got to grin and bear to play Gibson.
Oh well, don't. Ramondre's out, right? So
it's going to be Michael Hasty. I'm telling you, do not play Antonio Gibson and expect anything more than what he has done already this season. I'm going Rico in a terrible matchup and just praying that he can get it going through the air like he did last week. Dallas on the ground, Detroit on the ground is really difficult to run on them unless you're superhuman like Kenneth Walker is and did. But Rico Dowdle through the air is what I'm banking on this week.
Yeah, there's some plays against Houston. I mean, they have a good front seven, but
that's the thing with Gibson is he's a good pass catcher, and that's how I think he gets there this week. But yeah, I don't want to do Rico, man. Detroit's a nightmare. To your point, like that's my whole issue. If there's a better matchup, plan.
I get it.
With Gibson, they're starting the rookie too, so they may rely more on the run here. This matchup, at least short, flat route, so it kind of throws for Drake, so he's not going to go there and go crazy. So Gibson, I think I do like Chase Brown, but I think I go Gibson because we know he's going to be the starter there.
Yeah.
Let's plant some trees. Let's do that, man. Save the earth. Good job for you. Pittman, Keenan Allen, Keon Coleman, and Njoku, Laminkanki, Pittman Singletary if he plays Najee. Need to flex on one RB PPR.
Najee.
That's two Pittmans, right? That's just typo, I assume.
Yeah, it's Najee, Ladd, and
probably Keenan.
Yeah, probably Keon Coleman.
It's a good matchup. I like for that. I would play Keenan over Pittman. I don't want to do. I actually have Ladd as the highest, so Ladd's for sure one of my flexes. And then I'll play Keenan. I don't want to do Najee, but I might have to in this one. This is the thing. It's a good matchup and everything, but I don't want to do it.
You have to.
I mean, one of the RBs you're taking Singletary over Najee if Singletary plays.
I would be. Yeah, I would. If he's healthy and he's playing, I would play Singletary over him.
He's not healthy, and I doubt he's playing. But yeah,
I can't do the Najee stuff, man. Like it's so hard for you to do.
You have to. You have to. This week,
Jerry, you'll take Keon though.
I don't want to. No, and it's a terrible matchup. No, I hate him, and it's a terrible matchup.
And I hate him.
I guess, So Ladd and Najee, locked in this case. God. I mean, you could try Pittman. I guess Keenan. I hate it.
It's a good matchup. Just play Keenan, and I think his floor is significantly higher than Keon Coleman's, and I think the ceiling is higher too.
Yeah,
and he's still one of like if they're looking at like separation leaders, like somehow Keenan Allen's like still near the top of the league. So apparently he's still decent. So yeah, I'm gonna go Keenan.
Yeah, I think I like Keenan. Coleman, man. That is the issue coming in. I just don't like the receivers for Josh Allen. Kincaid has even stepped up in the way we wanted him to. So I think Keenan, Ladd, and I'm in Najee Truther, so take that with a grain of salt. But I'm gonna go Najee over Singletary. But this leads us into Joshua's next question: if Singletary plays, are we still starting Tracy?
More as a flex, not as like a high end like RB2 that I had him as. So he'll drop to like RB 30-ish range where he can still get that because like this is going to be a really good game and where there's going to be a lot of points in it, and he can get there like being efficient. So yeah, I'll play him, but I'm going to temper my expectations quite a bit.
Yeah, because Malik Neighbors is out, I will flex Tracy if Singletary plays.
And then Plants, he said he picked up Njoku with Freiermuth starting. Hate having two tight ends, but I will say here, Plant, this is what we're talking about. You see the value, and you picked up the guy. Yeah, you don't get anyone now, but now you have two tight ends that are tradable when they have a good week. So now you have value in your team to go out there and get some targets there as well. So this is playing chess when you're playing fantasy football and not letting it happen. You know what I mean? So I actually enjoy that. Yeah, having two tight ends is bad, but hey, now you have two that you can afford to trade on, right? So Brian Robinson is out. Yes, sir. Yep.
Unfortunate.
There you go. So fire him up if you have him. Gibson. All I heard was I want an HJ. Yeah. I mean,
no comment. I'm sorry.
Marvin Harrison and that for sure. Get them both.
Hey,
a lot.
Maybe that's Marvin Harrison.
At the same time, baby. At the same time.
Shay Smells, welcome in. I have Rashad Wright, Brees Hall, Stroud, Jordan Love, Deontay, Malik, Brian Thomas, McBride, Pips, Chase Brown, Jonathan Brooks, Chase Dale Pollard. Nice little matchup. Metcalf, Bigsby. What do I work on?
I think this team's really good. Like,
I'm
not too worried. Like, I think you're good. You're definitely playoff voter. Like, it has not gone well because a lot of guys have struggled, have been up and down and all those things and injuries. But like, you just gotta wait for Malik to come back because he's like the most valuable wide receiver in the NFL, like when he plays. So you can play Bigsby this week. Like, you can make it work. It sucks that Metcalf didn't go off, but such is life. Take Dell. Like I would just bet, like you're fine. You got McBride. Like this is a good squad.
In redraft, I'm trading Jonathan Brooks and Kyle Pitts for an elite running back. that's what I'm doing. I think your wide receiver room is decent enough. I know Tank hasn't necessarily held it down, but you got DK, BTJ, Neighbors to hold you down at the wide receiver position, and Deontay is a 4. I'm trading Brooks and Kyle Pitts for Kenneth Walker. If I
would even move Metcalf for him. Like I would package Metcalf
Sure.
and Jonathan Brooks to go get the elite. Like if you want to get Ken Walker, sure, go do that. Like I would definitely do that.
I was thinking something like McBride and White for Bowers, or if you can do Pitts and White or Pitts and Bigsby, maybe if you're able to move that. I
view them similarly, like McBride and Bowers. So for me personally, like I think it's kind of the same.
Well,
like the Pitts thing is like you're never playing Pitts except on a bye week. That's the only time you play Pitts. So it's kind of like
But nice squad, man. Well, best of luck to you there, Jason. Good job. Pittman, Kirk, Sherman, B-Rob, if he plays, he's out. Najee, Dowdle, need to flex 1 RB, PPR.
Well, the running back's going to be Sermon because
I think you're starting Najee, Dowdle, Sermon. 2 flex and 1 RB, I think you're starting all 3 of them. I don't trust Pittman or Kirk right now.
I'll go Kirk. Such low floor guy, like low ceiling, low floor. Oh. I think you got to take one upside shot with the wide receivers because I don't think Najee, like I like Dowdle, but I don't think either one's going to give you a 20+ point game. Like I think that's highly unlikely. I think the wide receivers could do it with Kirk, but it's rough. Like this is just it's just where you're kind of down your luck right now. It's unfortunate.
Yeah.
This one, Joshua, with Devontae being out, Jacoby Myers over Sherman or Tracy. It's more so the quarterback, man, too. I mean, it's AOC possibly going in. Could they bring back Minshew? Sure. But I don't. If there was Minshew, I would say yes. With AOC, I don't know what to expect here. You know, I love Trey Tucker too, but I don't know what to see with him.
Yeah, Jacoby's a good targeter. Like he's a very undervalued NFL wide receiver. He's been good. You saw it like throughout his career, he's been 20+% target share. I think he's fine. But yeah, like it's rough. Bad matchup with a young quarterback that is super inefficient. Like it's not ideal to play Myers in this game.
We're getting a bunch of questions, so I'm gonna power through them. I'll ask what y'all here as we go through them. But Adam asks, Trey Tucker or Calvin Ridley? Jeremy, what are you doing?
Ridley. It's a smash matchup for Ridley.
Yep.
There you go. Ridley or Najee? Ridley. We just did that one for you in a sense. Dak or Kirk O'Shea?
Hang on. Real quick. That's really close. I do think Jalen Warren, but I think Najee falls in and scores a touchdown. So depends what you need. I think Najee has the safer floor, but Ridley is probably a better play.
I could give you some advanced metrics. I'm not going to do it, but this is the dream matchup going against the Colts, like outside wide receivers. They get absolutely torched. Ridley, I get it. It's whoever their quarterback is, Will Levis, whatever. But like, you just play Ridley because I think the floor is similar with both of these guys. Like, it's just so bad with Najee right now, man.
Fair.
Yeah, just bad.
Dak or Kirko? I think I have
Kirk really high this week. I have Dak really low this week. I'm probably going Kirk.
Against Detroit, you got Dak really low?
Oh, maybe I'm thinking last week. Nope, I have Dak one spot ahead of Kirk, 8 and 9. I am going Dak.
I was like, dang. I have Dak at 5, so yeah, I'm on Dak.
I was thinking Pittsburgh. Yep.
I have Kirk at 5, so I'm going Kirk here.
Ooh.
Over him.
Love it.
Quits, I have Dak at 13 right now. Then we have Quitzy here. Drop one. Cup coming off the IR. My wide receiver is Lamb, Cup, Juju, Tank, Debo, or Moody. You got to drop Juju, I think.
Juju or Tank, unfortunately.
Yeah.
You have to drop Juju.
I think Tank, you don't want to drop yet. Yeah, you want to hope Tank goes off and then you go try to sell him with this.
Because like with this roster, like when are you playing Juju? Like that's the thing, right?
Exactly.
Like,
that's what I was just gonna say. Yep.
So see if you could trade him. See if you could package him in a deal to somebody. Like, and then if you can't, just drop him.
This is where it always is, guys. When we talk about you don't just drop. If you can, try to trade for value. Try to get somewhere advance more on your other positions, and don't just drop the guys to get someone the benefit to go pick them up for free. Here we go. Mark, welcome in. 4 Tank Bigsby or Gibson at the flex half PPR.
I think Bigsby really high.
I think Bigsby.
I'd say Tank, Gibson, Ford, and that order.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, Tank.
Hassan, hi guys. It's my mom's
birthday.
Hey, happy birthday.
Mom.
There you go. Happy birthday.
Mr. Terrell, happy birthday.
There you go. Jay Spills coming back in. Trade Chase Brown for Devontae Adams. Thoughts?
I like it. I mean, it's risky. There's a lot of risk. I don't mind it though. I think it's take your upside.
I like it.
Yeah, we don't know what's happening with that.
Get Devontae out of Vegas. Like, let's make that trade happen. I would feel much better about that trade too. So.
Oh, they traded Chase Brown for Adams. Yeah, all day. My bad. I was thinking they gave up Devontae for Chase. No, good job. Well done. Cap for life. Let's see what you got, ladies and gentlemen. 14 team PPR, flex spot. Gibson, Mitchell, Schultz, Leggett. Thoughts on Vidal? I love Vidal, but you're not starting him yet until J.K. Dobbins is
he's a good stash because J.K. Dobbins is like the inefficiencies catching up with bad defenses. So yeah, like he's a good stash. But I'm playing Gibson, man. Like it's just
this is Gibson.
Mitchell with Richardson, no thank you. Like Schultz is fine actually this week at tight end because they're down. Like Nico, I don't mind it, but yeah, and Legette's coming off an injury. No, I'm not doing that.
Yep.
Yeah, I think I agree. Looking at it, yeah, I agree. Stashed by though, he's great. Jack
Mehoff, what up? This is like that HJ question earlier.
Hey guys, if I wanted to go Titans game so I could do Calvin Ridley in person, what's the best way to do those tickets?
Oh, sorry, I can't focus. I'm trying to find the graphic.
Good question.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
We're gonna get back to that question there, Jack. Thank you for joining in there. Cat for life. What are we doing with Devontae Adams? I mean, buying if you can. I think a trade is happening. I don't think they're holding him. I think he's gonna be traded. So you will buy him when you can, though.
Hey, so I see. If you're trying to find a way to go to the Titans game, how would you go about doing that?
So you gotta look for the tickets. I think I'm going to SeatGeek to let them know, hey, I'm coming in here. Let me take off this comment, and then I'm using the FF Universe as the promo code for $20 off your first order. Go use SeatGeek, and don't forget to use our promo code FF Universe for $20 off your first order. That's how you get it there, Jack. We
with the bottom flex on them too. That's what
there you go. You flex on when you use the
Aaron St. Mehoff can just go use the link and get in there. We'll be all good to go.
JBS, don't forget about they them. Oh yeah, thank you. We appreciate that. Breaking news: Robinson out. There you go. Robinson is out.
We're a little behind. Catching up.
Okay.
Jack, I'd rather play Russian roulette than Gibson or Golo.
You could do that, but I don't think that would end well for you. I don't know.
It's neither way. It's going to end well for you. Let's move on.
Yeah. So, 3-star running backs: Taylor, Walker, and Gibbs. Well, what would like to trade one for a top receiver? Who would you suggest? I mean, if you could get out of Taylor,
I don't think you can get the high end wide receiver because he's hurt right now.
Agree.
So it's probably going to have to be Walker or Gibbs. But my question would be, who are your running backs outside of that? Because you got Taylor hurt for a while, Shelf. So if you have another good running back, go for it. If you can move Taylor, like do the Taylor for Nico. See, because it's more than likely he's coming back sooner. So see if you can send Taylor for Nico. There you get the high end wide receiver. You're gonna have to wait a few weeks, like a month, but you'll have him at the end of the season, and that would be very vital. So that's what I would do.
I like that.
Sure. Agree. Would that be crazy for seeing Evans or for Michael Wilson this week with the Lattimore matchup?
Yes,
a little bit. I would say, yeah.
I get it. I get it with the matchup and everything. Like I understand that, but it's Mike Evans. He can get those freaking 1-yard touchdowns all day. So like I know the issues, and it's it is what it is. But sometimes I think we lean up into matchups a little too much, and I would say this is the case. Now Wilson's probably gonna go for $150, and I'm gonna shut up after that.
Figure report, welcome in. Would you drop Tracy for Gibson?
No.
Yeah, because I would just play Tracy over Gibson this week. So like that's how I would go about doing that. So yeah, unless you think Singletary's playing.
Quincy, start 2, Bigsby, Moss, Gibson. I think you got to go Bigsby and Moss.
I'm going to green and bear with Gibson. Bigsby and Gibson.
No, listen, I need to look this up.
Bigsby
I need to look up Gibson. Keep going. What are we doing with Gibson? Stop. Let's just stop the Antonio Gibson. This offense sucks. Drake May isn't going to drastically turn this around. Have you seen the offensive line for the New England Patriots? Have you seen it? I don't know those guys. I'm a Patriots fan. I'm a diehard football Patriots fan. I got Michael Onwenu. I can't even pronounce his name. And then 4 guys I've never heard of on that damn offensive line with David Andrews gone. So I don't know what the hell we think we're doing with Antonio Gibson. Drake May is not the savior in his first start. Okay, so let's give everybody a little bit of time here. And except for Antonio Gibson, sit his ass. You're playing Bigsby and Moss by a shit ton here.
I'm worried about Moss this week. Like coming off that ankle injury, like I feel like he might be limited. That's my concern.
Figure report: Bowers or Ferguson? Bowers.
I mean, both flex the other guy. Like
a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think this is a good one. Bowers with the AOC, I think he's gonna go off. He's getting there.
Got Ferguson over Bowers
against Detroit over Bowers against Pittsburgh, but yeah, you can play Bigsby after that.
Do I start Dak or Love?
Love, probably.
I think I have
Love one spot.
Love
Love
is
Dak this week.
Love is my QB2 this week.
Love is my 4.
Yeah,
so
these are they're both high profile plays this week.
Need to start Austin Hooper or Will Disley. Don't judge too hard. It's a 32-team league.
Hey.
Disley, go get Disley.
Yeah, Disley's a better shot. I will say my buddy in our 12-team league just picked up Austin Hooper because he didn't want to trade for a tight end because he didn't have one. So instead of trading for a tight end, he's like, I'm going to go pick up the backup Patriots tight end. And I just shook my head and called him out. I was like, what are you doing, buddy? But 32-team league, yeah, you got to start a tight end. So I would go Disley. The Dismaster, baby. Let's go.
And then Singletary plays. Would you go Tracy or McNichols? I still go Tracy.
Tracy.
He's going to show the involvement there.
It's kind of a similar bet between those two. And Tracy's just better.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Just need a couple more opinions. Do I trade Downs, Bucky, Johnson for MHJ Spears to get? Yes, 100%. That's a smash. That's MHJ's Marvin Harrison.
It's close.
Because like Deontay and Marvin Harrison Jr. are pretty close. It's just like Bucky's a significant upgrade over Spears, and Downs only gets kind of similar bet. So really depends how you feel about Bucky. That's the one thing I would say. If you think Bucky can be the guy rest of the season, then I wouldn't do that. But if you want to go for Marvin Harrison Jr., I get it. Maybe swap somebody out for Leggett or Spears, like try something else in that deal. Because those two guys, it seems like it's injuries away and stuff like that.
This was an interesting one.
We did mention that early in the show, the Titans down the stretch schedule is super nice. If Pollard gets injured or if Spears just starts to dominate, that could be really nice. I'm still going with the other package.
Yeah, Spears has a significant upside in that case.
And if you are going to a Titans game like our guy Jack here is to Boo Ridley, you can definitely go to SeatGeek to get $20 off your first purchase. All you have to do is put in the promo code of FFUniverse and you get $20 off your first purchase. There you go, right on there. Go ahead and take a screenshot of that to remember that. $20 off your first purchase using FFUniverse at SeatGeek. And then we have
Kill a Mockingbird reference. Kill a Mockingbird reference. Boo Ridley. Let's go.
Jay Spells, Texans or Chargers defense. I have Texans defense at 3 and Chargers at 6.
Yes.
I like Texans.
Play the Texans defense.
Yeah, against Drake May. I think you're doing that.
Against Drake May's first start, yeah. Like you want the Texans defense.
Yep.
Only I know it's a weird question, but if you had McBride, would you rather roster Dallas Goddard or Leggett? Leggett.
Not rostering back up tight end.
Yep.
Like, it's just he's just gonna take up a roster spot unless you trade him because you can stream a tight end the week that McBride's out, right? So that's what I'll do.
Yep.
And then let's see, Tyrone, welcome in, or Trone, welcome in. Do you guys think D-Hop gets traded out before the deadline? Oh, I don't think so. It is.
I don't think so.
No,
I feel like they still want to try to be competitive. I don't know, man. Like the Titans are weird.
I don't know what D-Hop's market is really like. What team? Look, the only team that I really think needs to go out and get themselves a wide receiver, and I don't know if they're into it, is Washington. I think this team is super competitive. Jaden Daniels makes them that way. Dan Quinn makes them that way. And the record speaks for itself. So if they can stay healthy, that's great. But Luke McCaffrey just isn't ready. De'Ami Brown isn't a true 2. Dotson was jettisoned, right? So they need to have that second outside guy, whether it's D-Hop, Adams, Dobbs, whoever is available on the trade market. They need to go out now and get themselves a wide receiver. If it's D-Hop, yeah, he gets some value.
Yeah, I don't think anybody's gonna offer that much for him. Like I don't think you get a day 2 pick anymore at this point for him. Like it's a 1-year contract. I don't know.
Buffalo 2 needs him, but I just don't know how effective he would be. I think they might rather go after Calvin Ridley in Buffalo than D-Hop. So that may be it. I don't know if he's getting traded just because age and injury, stuff like that. So, Aaron, with the last question here, though, asked if I could do Taylor for Cup, would you think that is a good trade?
I mean, if Cup's healthy, that's the thing, right? Like, I think that's fine.
I would.
Yeah, you just got to be patient. Cup's really good, man.
I think you might be able to get something on top of Cup for Taylor because I know Taylor's injured too, but Cup, you can try to negotiate and say, hey, man, he's been injured. He's been going through that kind of stuff. So, we need to understand, all right, maybe he's not the guy. We know Puka's coming back too, so that even hurts it even more. When Taylor's back, he's the RB1, so you'll probably add a little cherry on top of them. That is how you flex on them, though, with it. Guys, last comments, anything like that. I know we were running a little bit longer than what we wanted to. Appreciate Jamie. You, as you know, follow Fantasy Football Universe all week long there. But hey, guys, what are y'all excited about? What are we looking at?
Hey, week 6 coming up, baby. I'm really excited for that. I mean, we got a lot of shows throughout the week, right? We're gonna be mixing some things up. in the near coming future. So our schedule might change a little bit as we dial this up with the changes for Aaron. But yeah, looking forward to week 6. We'll do our dynasty shows, our weekly shows, and the sit start show tomorrow, bright and early with the Jeremy, where hashtag can't quit you. You know what I'm saying? And then yeah, me and SE will be on for the 8:30 West Coast time, 11:30 sit start show.
Listen. Yeah, it's not too early for me over here because it'll be 3 p.m., but I am breaking my back here to make sure that I get you those start sits a half hour before kickoff because I can't quit any of these guys. Just like Jaylen Warren, I can't quit him, and you have to sub him in for Brian Robinson here, Jazz. Make sure you do it. So appreciate you guys, and we'll see you a bunch tomorrow.
Till next time. Sorry, guys. I was good.